Well, my plans to record the episodes the night before has yet to materialize. You know what they say, the best laid plans of mice and men. Well, I've still got time for some love this morning. I'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Love, your daily dose of love, hope, and encouragement from here at Buckwheat Farms Magic Emporium and Ballroom. We're glad to have you here with us. And if you're one of our 61 now subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And if you're just a random viewer, subscribe. You'll enjoy what you see here. You often hear me say, if you watch our content, that we are simply divine, we're individuated expressions of a divine whole, that we are unique and individual in our expression, but we also contain within us all of the essence of the divine whole. You heard me talk about the idea of the hologram, where each individual piece of the hologram has all of the elements of the hologram upon it, and that's the very nature of the hologram, that it becomes imbued throughout with the very nature of what it is. We also know that with the discovery of the Higgs boson, it's actually the manifestation, it's the visible manifestation of the Higgs field, which is the energy field that basically gives matter its existence. It's kind of like the creation field, and it's been equated to, or called, physicists don't like this, but it's called the God particle because of its tie-in with the creative forces. And that Higgs boson is in every quark, in every proton, in every atom, in every molecule of every cell of our body. In other words, yes, we're all full of that creative energy. But because I like to deal in areas of the mind, I want you to give yourself a mental exercise to understand this as well. Visualization is something that I use in my practice with, magic is what I call it. If you want to call it manipulating your mind, basically, again, using your will to get your desires, and part of that. Visualization is a big part of that. It was a big part of what when I was in the athletic realm, visualizing. In fact, they have found that visualizing success and visualizing an activity, your mind, your brain, your unconscious, your monkey mind can't determine the difference between you actually doing it and envisioning yourself doing it. And that in and of itself is just absolutely incredible, to think about the power of ideas and everything. And I've talked about that in other content, but this is a question that I asked my wife as we were riding around, and I asked my brother this, and also when we rode together, but have you ever envisioned yourself doing something? And even as I say that, you can, envision yourself brushing your teeth, or not something in front of a mirror. Just envision yourself maybe sitting at the table eating breakfast or drinking a cup of coffee, and you can see yourself doing it, right? Well, how do you know what that looks like? What do you mean? How do I know what that looks like? I can see myself in the mirror. No, it's not a mirror image. I mean, you can see yourself. I mean, you can sense and you can feel the energy from an exterior point of view. You are literally watching yourself do that. How do you know what it looks like for you to do that unless you are watching yourself do that. And that is where how I say that we tune into being individuated expressions of the divine whole, because those are the times when we're drawing from the information of other sources. I've done it before when you sense someone behind you and you know someone is behind you. There's information coming. We're plugging into that divine whole, and that information is being shared. Interestingly enough, one of the discussions that came up after yesterday's content was, basically about, the moral, I guess, obligation we have to try to preclude bad things, and the discussion of good and bad and duality, and that whole concept of there being infinite numbers of perspectives through a point. And again, that's what happens is when we tap into not only being the individuated expression, and that's easy enough, for a lot of us, I want to express myself, but then to tap into being part of that divine whole, so that we do take on those other perspectives. And the reality of this is that the more perspectives that you attain, the greater the power you have to change your future, change your present, change your situation simply by your will. The more perspectives you have, the less blind spots you have, the more open you are to seeing the fruition, the fulfillment, the manifestation come through. And I think of there's a passage of scripture in the Bible. There's a passage that says, "When I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things." But it goes on to say that someone who doesn't do these things is like someone who looks in a mirror and goes away and forgets what they look like. And the thing is the more perspective we have, the more we realize what we actually look like. Because even though we are individuated expressions of the divine whole, we still are I am. Namaste.